Hello and welcome to another episode of Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV. I am Adam Mani Angora, your host. In this program where we always learn together how to prepare some amazing dishes. In today's episode, I am going to show you how to prepare a Singaporean chicken rice. But before we get started, let us go for a quick break and we will be right back. Welcome back. But before we get started, let us have a look at the ingredients that we need in order to prepare this dish. First of all, I'm going to make use of a whole chicken, some amount of water, some sesame oil, some amount of vegetable oil, salt, celery, parsley, rice, honey, and also soy sauce. I'm also going to make use of chili pepper, spring onions, ginger, garlic, and also red pepper. Yellow pepper is also going to be used. And therefore, let us get started. So the first thing that we are going to do is to grab our chicken and begin to brine it with salt. So this process requires putting some amount of oil on the skin and then gently rubbing it throughout the whole body of the chicken. The salt also helps in making the chicken very much shiny. After massaging the chicken, you can see how shiny the skin is looking. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is to grab some amount of my celery, some of the leaves, and then go ahead and put it inside of the cavity. And this is entirely optional. Some people usually coriander is used in the traditional way of doing it, but then we don't have coriander, and which is why I decided to use some amount of celery and also some amount of parsley. The next thing that I'm going to add is, of course, spring onions. And these spring onions, without actually cutting it, I'll just squeeze it like this, fold it, and then also add it to the inside of the chicken. So with this, I already have my water inside of the pot. This water has to be enough for the entire chicken to be submerged inside of the water. For instance, you can see now that I put about 1 point something kilogram of chicken, and the entire chicken has submerged completely inside of the water, and I've already started my fire. So I'm now keeping it on a high heat. While the chicken is on fire, I'll go ahead and grab some ginger. So far, I have not, closed, I haven't covered the pot with the lid. I'm giving it some time before I do that, while I add some of these ingredients. And then the next thing that I'm going to add is, of course, add some garlic here in. So the chicken is completely submerged inside of the water with the spring onions and all that have been added. So one more thing that I want to show you is that, so you see, if you examine the chicken really well, you can see some chicken actually come with excessive fat or skin. So in that situation, if you like, actually, you can go ahead and remove the fat and also the skin. Of course, it's not necessary. You can actually go ahead and leave it if you like. So I've already cut off some of the excess fat, which if I like, I can use it as an added flavor in my next actually process. So this, I can just go ahead and give it a cut like this. Okay, and then keep it aside. So after about 15 minutes of submerging the chicken inside of the water, it's always a good idea to turn the chicken, to flip the chicken, so that the part of chicken that rests on the pot doesn't get burnt, so that the skin does not stick, to the bottom of the pot. So usually Singapore chicken rice is supposed to have its own skin intact until finished. So with this now, I'll go ahead and grab some of the chili so that we can make a sort of chili sauce. So with this now, I'll go ahead and add a little amount of water. And then I'll go ahead and blend it. Okay, that's it. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is to actually add some amount of vegetable oil and heat it really well. This, I'll go ahead and start the fire like that. Of course, I will go ahead and just use this pan like this, and then add some amount of vegetable oil here, and then heat it really well. So while that is going on, let me go ahead and cut some lime like this. Let's squeeze it, massage it in order to bring the maximum juice out of it. Okay, I'll keep this for later use. And then I will now begin to chop, some of the already peeled garlic. And with this, remember that we have the rice right there waiting. This rice is now going to be washed really, really well, which I'm going to do right now. I'll come here, check my chili, and then let's give it a little touch of parsley and perhaps a little amount of celery. Small quantity of it is just fine. Maybe a portion of spring onions, of course not much. This little amount, little portion of it like this, or maybe add some more, and then blend them all together. Okay, so this is just to give it this kind of green garnishing, and with this I'll come here now and remove the blended chili, and of course I will now go ahead and add it here. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is to bring my lime and squeeze the lime juice inside of the chili sauce. And then a very little amount of salt to be added, very little. And then I'll grab my honey and then add it in there. Okay. The use of honey is also optional. If you like, you can use sugar. So the oil is really hot, so I'll go ahead and add it here. And then a drop of soy sauce. Now that chili sauce has been made, let's also go ahead and prepare a soy sauce. Okay, the soy sauce is right here, and then we add a little amount of lime juice to it, a little amount of honey, and then I'll keep it aside as well. The next thing that I'm going to do is to grab this grater. Now, the fresh ginger is here. I will go ahead and peel and remove the skin to some extent. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is to come here again and check my chicken, how far it's doing, and it's doing just great. At this point, you know, after the salt that I added in massaging the chicken, feel free to add some amount of salt if you like. If you don't like, leave it like that. But for me, I've chosen to add some amount of salt. That's okay. And I will go ahead and cover the pot again, and then grab some of this celery. Not much of it. Keep it aside for later use. I'm going to use it much later. Some amount of parsley also. Let's add it here, a little amount. And then I will go ahead and cut also some spring onions. This, not too much of it. So what I will be doing with this is actually to give it a stir fry. As you can see, the chicken is getting boiled and is doing really well. So what I will do at this point is to go ahead and turn off the fire, right? And then I will now go ahead and take off the chicken. Put this here. Oops. Okay, let me use my right hand and see how great this will be. Oops, I'm getting burnt. It's really hot. Okay, so this is it. Getting the chicken off the water, draining the water, excess water out of the chicken, and then this is looking so great. So let's now put it aside. Now I need some amount of oil here. To which I will go ahead and the excess skin and fat that I took off the chicken will be used here to add some flavor to this, and then add some garlic in here, amount of garlic, and then some amount of ginger is also going to be added here. And then you can see this thing. Okay, so allow it to continue to fry for some time, and then we'll now go ahead and grab our rice, and then we add it inside, and then continue to fry for about 3 minutes. We'll continue to fry this for about 3 minutes. And then the soy sauce and also the sesame oil. What I'll do next is to add, to apply some sesame oil and rub it all over the chicken. while I continue to fry the chicken, the rice. Okay, so with this now, I'll go ahead and bring the pot, and we'll transfer the rice to the inside of this pot. Now, the water needs to cover the rice with about 1 centimeter, above the rice. Okay, on a low heat, I'll place the rice and cover it, and then cover my broth, and we will allow this rice to continue to cook for the next 20 minutes. And then I'll go ahead and sprinkle the spring onions that I did cut over the rice. And then the next thing is, I'll now go ahead and get this soy sauce and then add it on the chicken. That is after adding the oil, after massaging the chicken with the sesame oil. And then with this, I can go ahead and transfer the chicken into the oven, of which, if you are using the modern oven, you can now set it to 200 to 220 degrees for the next 20 minutes to half an hour. So in my situation, I'm actually using a modern traditional oven, because I use charcoal in it. So I'll go ahead and add this chicken in there and give it about 20 minutes to see what we can get. So here I am, heading to the oven and place the chicken. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Our chicken is ready and brought out of the oven. So you see how shiny the chicken is looking, and so brown. So what we will do now is to actually get it served. I'll now go ahead and grab the chicken and place it on the chopping board, and see how nice and tender. It's absolutely soft, very, very much tender, and of course very hot. Woo. Wow, look at this. Okay, here we have our rice well done and ready to be served. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Okay, and then now slice the chicken this way. It's very soft, just the way I wanted it to be. And then we put it aside. And let's grab chicken wing and place it gently here. Okay. And then, of course, the cucumber. This is that dish that you cannot serve without cucumber. Okay. And of course, the chili. So let us serve it the traditional way. No, the soy sauce usually added, on top of the chicken, like this, and maybe some portion of it on top of the rice. And now here we have the stir-fried spring onions and garlic that I made before, to which we get this broth and add inside of it, which is also a very nice soup. And we put this for actually drinking the soup, and usually we would add this as a side. Okay, and then we place it right here beside the chicken, and that's it. Let's add a little bit of soy sauce. Okay, so here you have an amazing Singapore roasted chicken rice. And what I can guess right now is perhaps to go ahead and give it a taste. And from the smell, this is just something I feel before tasting, I can't imagine how delicious this could be. I just feel like traveling to Singapore tomorrow. Huh? This is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely delicious. I can eat this every day. Every day. So, with this being done, it is my hope that you will continue to watch Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV, and also will continue to learn and practice, and hopefully one day you will invite me to also come and dine with you. So until then, I say bye-bye for now.